So you love podcasts, and you want to listen to more amazing content, but you have no idea what to listen to. And your friends keep telling you about great episodes, yet you can never remember what they told you. Well, here's the answer. Good Pods. It's the social app dedicated to podcasts, where your friends, podcast listeners, and favorite podcast hosts all come together to share on their feeds what they recommend and what they listen to. You can connect to others, bookmark episodes, start a conversation about the episode, connect to the hosts, and most importantly, listen to great podcasts right in the Good Pods app. Download Good Pods wherever you get your apps and start sharing with a community that loves to listen. Good Pods. It's where to connect and listen.
I'm afraid I'm going to have to pull rank on you. I don't want to have to do this, but I'm with the mattress police. There are no tags on Lou Diamond's mattresses. Plenty of stains, but no tags.
I don't need to teach you to be more like me. I need to teach you to be more like you.
Longtime listener and a huge fan.
Lou, I am tremendous.
And the more I'm plugged from technology and people, the more I can serve people with technology.
What you're standing for with connection, I think it's the key to everything.
You're just an amazing breath of fresh air for sure. Lou, you're a diamond in the rough, my man.
Because for me, if I'm not living high energy, I'm surviving and I want to be thriving.
Get ready to thrive loud with Lou Diamond.
I love it.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Thrive Loud with Lou Diamonds, connecting you to the most inspiring and amazing people that are thriving each and every day. I'm your host, Lou Diamond. Today on Thrive Loud, we have the CEO and co-founder of GreenPal, an online marketplace that connects homeowners with local lawn care professionals. Before GreenPal, he founded one of the largest landscaping companies in the state of Tennessee before selling it. He's all about small business growth, marketing, and bootstrapping businesses from zero revenue to profitability and exit. Thrive Loud listeners, Bryan Clayton. Bryan, how are you today?
Oh, great. Thanks for having me on, Lou. Great to be here.
So we got to hit this because I read your story about what this business is and GreenPal, which I love this. It's been called the Uber for lawn care. Can we do a little rewind to figure out from your original landscaping business you sold to starting this, how that idea and all this came to be? Because I think our listeners would love to hear that.
Yeah. GreenPal is the Uber for lawn mowing. You push a button and someone comes and mows your grass for you. But it didn't start that way. 20 years ago, my dad actually forced me to go cut the neighbor's grass one day on a hot summer day. He barged into my room while I was playing Super Mario Kart and said, "Hey, we got a job to do. We're going to go mow the neighbor's grass." And he made me go cut the neighbor's grass, thankfully. And after I got done mowing the neighbor's yard, I got paid $20. And something about that just stuck with me. Something about the ability to go out and work for an hour and make $20 was just awesome. And I decided, okay, well, this is awesome. I'm going to go make up some flyers. And I passed out flyers all over the neighborhood. And by the end of that summer, I had like 10 or 12 customers that I was cutting grass for. And I was only like 14 or 15 years old. And so really early on, luckily, my father made me learn the lessons of entrepreneurship and business ownership. And it's just something that stuck with me ever since. I kept mowing yards all through high school as a way to make cash, and then put myself through college cutting yards. And then when I graduated college, I had to make a decision. Was I going to take a pay cut and go into the job market, or to stick with this lawn mowing business? And, I didn't really want to be a grass cutting guy. I didn't want to be a landscaper. That's not what I went to school for, but I decided, what the hell, let's see where I can take this. And I made a little business plan with what little knowledge I got out of business school. And in what I thought would take me 5 years, took me 3 or 4 years. And I built that business into a real company. And little by little, over a 15-year period of time, I got it over 150 employees, got it over $8 million a year in revenue. And in 2013, that company was acquired by one of the largest landscaping businesses in the United States. And after that, I kind of retired. I took some time off, and I realized something about myself, that business is kind of like the lifeblood of my life. It is the thing that causes me to be better, to learn more, to get stronger, to be a better leader, to be more humble. It's the thing that causes me to really level up. And I thought, wow, I don't have that anymore. I need to go start another business. And so I started thinking, okay, well, what kind of business should I start? And the idea for GreenPal was really, really, really clear, simple, and straightforward to me, because I was kind of solving my own problem. I saw how inefficient it was for a homeowner to go hire a lawn mowing service. And I also saw how difficult it is as a lawn cutting service to make a living. And so I decided, okay, well, let's set out and build this thing. And I recruited 2 co-founders and we got started on it. And here we are 8 years later. We're an 8-year overnight success. We've got several 100,000 homeowners that use the app to get their grass cut, and doing $20 million a year in revenue. So
Unbelievable.
That's 20 years of entrepreneurship in a couple of minutes.
Oh, first of all, I love it. And I also love the fact that you stuck to what you knew best, but also recognized what that big problem was. I want to dive in a little bit more about this, mostly because I want to understand the breadth of GreenPal. So how far and wide does GreenPal have reach? Obviously, not only in Tennessee, but where else can people actually go on the app and get GreenPal? What states are you in?
Yeah, so right now we're nationwide. We're in every major city in the United States. Well, anywhere you have a population of over 40 or 50,000 people, we're operational. And so it didn't start that way. We've been at this 8 years. We started in the summer of 2013. We spent 4 years just in Nashville, Tennessee, figuring out how to make the Uber for lawn care work, how to make it work reliably, how to make the experience consistent and delightful for both sides of the transaction. And it took a long time and a painful process of trial and error of just figuring that out and building the technology to solve the 100 problems that can happen when you go to hire somebody to do something for you. And where do they show up on time? Do they do a good job? Do they have the proper equipment? Are they who they say they're supposed to be? And so all of these things that we just found out through trial and error, we just figured it out just in one city. And that was really one of the only things we had going for us at the time. We had no outside capital. We really didn't know how to build the kind of technology we needed to build. So we're having to learn as we go. And just that focus, that laser focus on our own backyard, because we knew if we could make it work in Nashville, we could roll it out to every city in the country. And that's eventually what we did. But it started off very, very, very slow.
Okay, so let's talk about, I'm thinking in my brain is, because I'm fast forwarding, where being a disruptor, which is what you've become really, Bryan, to somebody who understands both sides of the lawn care business. Obviously, a message of how you're able to focus on growing a business and getting clients and dealing with everything else. And then obviously people accessing whomever they want to do. I need my lawn done now, or I could do it a la carte. Talk to me about how you took the experiences that you have from having run a landscaping business and put that into now this almost a competitive space, right? Because I imagine you've disrupted the way people have traditionally been hiring their landscapers, and those landscapers might have issues with it. Or have you been smart enough to loop them in and make them part of the whole family? Talk to us how that experience has been with the actual landscape companies.
Yeah, it's a really good question. So for us, why we do what we do is for lawn mowing services. We focus on helping them grow their business, helping them go from like a handful of customers, 2, 3, or 4, 5 customers to 100 in a year, helping them make material income, helping them quit their full-time job. And so that's really why we do what we do. We offer a nice convenience to homeowners. Let's say you have grass that's 4 feet tall. You've left 12 voicemails on Yelp and Craigslist and Facebook, and you can't get anybody to come mow the dang grass. You jump on GreenPal, somebody comes and does it today or in the morning. And so that's a nice convenience, but where we really, really, really have impact and why we get out of bed in the morning is to help the small business owner who just got in the lawn mowing business. Maybe they got laid off from their job and they went out and bought a push mower, and help them get into the business full time to where they can make material income. So, the word disruptor kind of indicates that there's a win-lose, like Uber disrupted the cab companies and it's kind of hollowed them out. That's not really how we look at it. We really try to empower small business owners and empower small lawn care services to get up and running and get to a point where they're profitable and making a living, and literally like helping them get access to the American dream, because that's where I've spent my entire life. A day in the life of a grass cutting business is hard. You get up before the crack of dawn. You're sharpening.
You don't have to tell me that. You don't have to tell me that. I'm like naturally allergic to fresh cut grass. It's the only thing I'm allergic to. And I literally, anytime that I go to a golf course, I go to a new lawn, I'm like sniffing and sneezing. I wish I'd be able to get behind a mower and do it. It would be a joke.
It's tough. It's tough.
It's very hard.
And we've set out to build the tools to make those guys and gals' lives easier, so they can get the customers that they want in the zip codes they service, so they can get paid within 24 hours. So they wake up in the morning, they have a list of all of the lawns they have to go mow. It's route optimized. They know all the places they're supposed to be. They know they're going to get paid quickly. They don't have to do things like bookkeeping when they get home at night. They don't have to like get ticked off because Mrs. Smith hasn't paid them in 2 months. So really like solving all of those things to where all they need to focus on is just doing a good job cutting the lawn for their client.
Let's dive into this unique challenge. Uber has a lot of competitors. Does GreenPal have anyone else doing what you're doing?
Our biggest competition is the status quo.
Okay.
If you want to get your grass cut, you don't necessarily think, oh, I should just go download an app for it. You don't really know to. And so that's the biggest thing we compete against, is people doing it the old way, people doing it the hard way, still leaving voicemails, still leaving a check under the mat, still asking like friends and family for recommendations when in fact that may not be the best fit for you. And so that's the biggest competition. There are a couple of other tech startups who are trying to make the space more efficient, who are tackling on the vertical just from a different angle than we are. When you work with them, they are your lawn mowing service. And so if you have a problem, you call their 1-800 number, and there's some person in some other state that's like, okay, your back patio didn't get blown off. Let me call the subcontractor we delegated your yard to. That's not really how we approach it. We approach it as a true marketplace. So you as the homeowner, you sign up, you get multiple quotes back really quickly. You can compare those quotes, read reviews, read stats on how often they show up on time or how often they get booked for a second mowing. So you can make a good decision on who you want to work with. And then it's our job to power that relationship to make sure that service provider shows up for you on time on an ongoing basis, and really just make it like an invisible thing that happens in the background to where you don't have to worry about it anymore.
Do the people who hire GreenPal do more than just the lawns? Because I know like my guy that deals with my house, he does the gutters and he'll do some other stuff. Is there a range of services that they can do above and beyond just trimming the lawn?
Yes, but when you sign up for GreenPal, the only thing it can do is get your grass cut.
Got it.
Then after you get hooked up with a great lawn mowing service, we have the tools in place to help them quote things like shrub pruning, mulch, seeding, leaf removal, gutter cleaning, snow removal. And the reason we've taken that approach is that focus is one of the like core competencies and one of the values that we've always instilled and why we do what we do and how we do it. And it's because like, if you're not the best in the world at one thing, it's really hard to stand out. And so if you came to GreenPal's front page, it's like, oh, you can get bids for yard cleanup and tree trimming and gutter cleaning and locksmithing or whatever. Like it's like if it does everything, it does nothing. Whereas if GreenPal, you come to our app or our homepage, it's literally the easiest way in the world to get hooked up with a great lawn mowing service fast at a great price.
Awesome. And I love the laser focus and aspect of that. One last question about the business itself, Brian, before we get to some more interesting questions to learn more about you. You started off with you and your two partners. What does GreenPal look like now from a breadth? How many people are at the organization?
Yeah, so right now we're a little under 30 people. We're growing 50% year over year. We have 12,000 contractors that use the platform as a way to operate their entire business, and a few 100,000 homeowners that use it to get their grass cut. And so if we just keep doubling year over year, sometime in the next 3 to 5 years, we should be the household name for how you just get this one chore done, the Uber for lawn mowing or the Instacart for lawn mowing. It's our goal to be like in the lexicon of the English language.
Love it. I think it's great. Brian, let's peel back a layer here. I love asking guests on the program this question. You are an entrepreneur from the day your dad sent you out to go mow the lawn, and it's literally become your business and your career, which is just such a great story. And obviously you've had success selling the business, and now you've been growing this one. Most days you are thriving. But Bryan, like everybody else, we all have days when we're not quite kicking on all cylinders, or maybe we can't get that lawnmower started. Bryan, when you have trouble thriving, who or what practice do you seek to get yourself back on the thriving track?
Man, great question. You can't get the lawnmower started. You've pulled on that damn cord 1,000 times and won't start. What a great metaphor. Been there.
This was a layup for me. Come on, Bryan. I mean, it was right in front of me.
So for me, 20 years of starting businesses, growing 2 businesses to 8 figures, no outside capital, no debt. There's been a lot of like hard slogs over the 20 years. And so for me, one of the things that's always helped me get through it is it's just a simple thing that a decision I've made about myself is I'm always going to be working on my best idea. And that's just it. And so so like when I started GreenPal, the first 4 years were really, really hard for my 2 co-founders and I. We couldn't pay ourselves anything for a very long time. We didn't really know how to build software. We had to teach ourselves how to do that. And like we ended our first year with like 20 customers, and half of them were my friends and family. And so it was humbling. But for me, it was like, okay, this is my best idea. I'm working on my best idea, and I'm going to work on it until it's no longer my best idea. And so luckily I don't have a lot of great ideas. And so I just stuck with it. And so it's like the only way to move was forward. And so just sticking with it until we got it some momentum going was how, we're still here today, and we're profitable, and we don't like going through COVID. I haven't missed a night's sleep because we've got a nice solid business that we've just took the long, hard, slow and low approach building.
Yeah. I'm just laughing. That's one of my favorite lines ever. I don't have a lot of good ideas, but
luckily
you don't need a lot of good ideas. I think if there's anything that our listeners picked up out of Bryan Clayton, he's had one major focus his entire professional career, and it's been a great way to rethink about how to do it better, and value the work that you do, understand the appreciation of a good hard day's pay, and then also recognize how the business is so important to everybody in homeowners. I think it's awesome.
One of my favorite quotes is Mark Cuban. He says, "You only have to be right once."
Right.
And if you just stick with it, I think a lot of folks give up too quick. And I think that's one of the biggest impediments to success is just giving up too quickly. And yeah, it can be nuanced knowing when to throw in the towel. But if you just stick with something for 5 or 10 years and just be consistent, you'll make it happen.
Let's do this, Bryan. Let's do the admin part of the show before we go down Fun Street here.
Cool.
Not that we haven't been having fun since the very beginning. Bryan, share with the listeners all the places people can find you, websites, URL, the app. Everyone, all those spellings and everything, we will put it on the show notes, but when they're listening and they're driving the car, we don't want them pulling over and having to, ruin somebody else's lawn, although they'd be able to then use the app and get the lawn fixed by calling.
Right on. Right on. Yeah, well, life's too short to cut your own grass. That's for dang sure. Just download GreenPal in the App Store or Play Store, pop in your address, and you get hooked up with a great lawn mowing service in less than a couple of minutes. Anybody wants to get at me, I've been hanging out on LinkedIn a lot more lately. They've really done a good job rebuilding that platform the last few years. And so if you just like Google GreenPal Bryan Clayton LinkedIn, you'll find my LinkedIn. Hit me up. If you hear my story and you think there's like a specific thing I can help you with, like hit me up, let me know what it is, and I'll give you my experience, my answer based on my experience.
The good thing is, Bryan, that most of the people would have saw this particular episode's advertisement on LinkedIn. They would have clicked on there and then they would have come in. So they're going to be able to make that circle right to you.
Nice.
Permission, Bryan, to go down Fun Street with me.
Let's do it. Let's go down Fun Street.
This is going to be awesome. Okay. Can you share with listeners your all-time favorite movie?
Oh, man, I've got a lot of them. But keeping it related to business is the Founder with Michael Keaton.
Oh, I just saw it.
What an awesome movie.
Okay, so hold on. Share with the listener, why does that movie connect so much with you?
Well, because it's like just the beginning of the movie, you start off on this guy's like 20, 30 year entrepreneurial journey where he's just like not doing well. He's on his 9th or 10th try to like make something happen. And he's in his mid 50s, Ray Kroc, and he still has the gumption, the ambition, the wherewithal to try to figure out something out. I think like he had that curiosity to understand, like, why are these people buying all of these milkshake machines? I'm going to drive across the country and go see for myself. And like, I think that's something that all of us as business owners and entrepreneurs can learn from, just constantly having that curiosity to figure out why things work and why they're working well, and to learn and then to have the ambition to apply them to your business is something that can help us all. And I mean, I've read the book Grinding It Out, which is basically was what that movie's built on. And this, like, he was the pioneer of systems and duplication. What an awesome movie.
You know, it's interesting because I thought it did an interesting job highlighting the growth. For the listeners who need to see this, it's all about the founding of McDonald's and Ray Kroc. And obviously, you know, they did really highlight, though, the big part was that the original McDonald's brothers, you know, came up with the concept of the idea. And he at the end, he looked like a bad guy in the movie. Would you feel that? Like, I mean, that's the one thing that I thought was interesting. Like, yes, there was the hard working piece, but at the end, he was kind of a little bit of a douche.
Yeah. And that begs a bigger question. Do you have to be a jerk to be successful? Yeah. I don't think so. But then on the other hand, like, that dude made so many millionaires.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
Like, how can you argue with that? So, but yeah, and I think people that knew him would tell you that he was hard charging and a little bit petulant. But the thing is I think sometimes there's a time and a place for that, maybe. But the thing I took away from that movie was just the relentlessness that it takes to make something of yourself in business.
That was one of his key pieces. The thing that he's all about was his, you know, nonstop relentlessness moving forward. All right. So here's how we're going to do the speed round of Fun Street, Brian. I'm going to ask you a question. I want the first thing that comes to your mind. These are things that lift you up, make you feel good, basically make you thrive. You ready to roll?
Awesome. Let's do it.
A song that you love to hear or that pumps you up?
Trophies by Drake.
Favorite food that's not a dessert?
Oh man, I love desserts. I just got back from Mexico City, where they had the most amazing tacos in the world. I ate like 12 at a sitting. Tacos.
Okay. Favorite dessert?
God, I love anything with Nutella on it. You can put that on shingle and I'll eat it.
Oh, it's great. An activity you wish you did more of?
Muay Thai boxing. I love it and I hate it at the same time.
I was about to say, an activity you wish you did less of?
Sleeping in.
If you could snap your fingers, Brian, and go anywhere in the universe, where are you?
I'm on a beach in Sri Lanka.
Ooh, I like it. Bryan Clayton, GreenPal, our new GreenPal here on Thrive Loud. This was awesome. Continued success to your company, your business, your entrepreneurial spirit. And I'm looking outside and it's winter here, but now I know who I'm going to go download and check out when it comes time, when the spring comes around and that grass starts growing.
Heck yeah, we'll be there.
You got it, man. Thanks for coming on the program.
Thanks for having me on, Lou. I appreciate it.
And to all our listeners out there, thank you for joining us. And until next time, keep thriving onward and upward. And remember, be brief, be bright, be gone.
You've been listening to Thrive Loud with your host, Lou Diamond. Check us out on the web at thriveloud.com and follow us on Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook at Thrive Loud. And check us out on the Good Pods app at Thrive Loud, where you can follow, listen, and connect directly to Lou and all of the Thrive Loud episodes. Thanks for listening.